Nfitmosos, everybody. I'm your host for the day, Nike. You can follow me on Instagram at Nike Garcia _2. With our co-host here, we got Salo. Also, you can find him on his Instagram, Mendoza Gaines.
Yep.
And then you got over here, you got Tank. I don't know Tank's Instagram handle.
He don't even know his own tag.
So we'll put it in the description. But yeah, we're touching on episode 2 of male role models. And I'm going to go ahead and kick it off to Salo, because I believe he was doing a really good job on breaking down his idea of what a man is, and then I think we can go from there. So we're going to kick it off with Salo. Go ahead, Salo.
I think we left off where in order to be a man or be known or seen as a man, it's multifaceted, and there's many things that attribute to that. Not just one thing, not just lifting, not just making money, not just providing, being able to do stuff, and you have to do all those things. And so I think something else that we didn't touch up on that I guess we could in this episode is the male role model for young boys today. Where are they at?
Yeah.
Because we don't see them. And we also touched up on last episode where a lot of the times it's due to the reason that families are separated, and so the dad is no longer living with mom and the kids. And so why don't we touch up on that, I guess, a little bit, how to maybe go about that, or how to just, I don't know, man. Well, let's talk about it.
All right. What do you think, Tank? We got anything to say on that yet, or we're just gonna break it down? What's your idea? What is your breakdown of a man and a male role model?
Well, just going based on what Saul was talking about, I also agree that we do need more male role models now more than ever. I mean, I don't want to try to cuss on here anymore, but stuff's going downhill pretty quick, and I don't know. I've been following a lot of things, but me as a dad or as an uncle or as a brother or whatever it is, like, we need to step up, and regardless of what's going on in our life, I know we're gonna be talking about discipline later, but like, we need to get it done and build those relationships up with our families, especially the young men, and build them up where they need to be. It's just crazy what it is now. Just mind blowing. But
I agree. I think Salo made some good points. I mean, Salo made a good point when he said, you don't have to be big. Is that what you said?
You don't have to be big.
But you do need to be in some type of shape, because as the male in the role model in the house, man, you're the shield and the blade, And so getting to that, I think that there also needs to be an idea of, he said, families are separated, and so that takes, when you take the shield and the sword away, and you're leaving the mother with the child, and the mother. They're mothers. They're softer, and that's just the truth. I mean, I feel like if people argue that's fine, whatever. But they're softer, and that leads to boys not really turning into men, because they're either coddled for too long, or there's never anyone stepping up to play the sword and shield role. You're not seeing a man go out and work out and everything. Saul, I've seen you bring your kids in here, watch you work out. They're seeing you develop and build yourself, keeping yourself physically strong as well as mentally strong. I think you need to be, as a man, be willing to make a mental sweat as well. You need to keep yourself educated.
And to interject real quick, I do that because if I don't do it, then who will?
Exactly. And then and then there's situations where the dad might be just a deadbeat. The dad is the problem, and then if you're a stepdad out there, this is good for you. Be that sword and shield. They don't need somebody coming and calling them. You gotta show them that you can be just as loving and as stern. That's the toughest, one of the toughest things about being a man, is you gotta be able to weigh it. You gotta understand that you have to be that villain when it comes to being like, hey, you gotta lay down the rules, and you're the final boss. Or you also got to be that hero, understanding that, hey, man, you got to look at your kid and be like, I'm proud of you, you're doing great. But that doesn't exist right now. I don't think it does anyway. I think it's, in some households it's still there, but for the most part, I'm going with the fact that I think in today's time, it's just, there's too many, like, I don't know how to word this. I guess there's too many fingers being pointed at as a male as toxic, and if you play an original male role. You know, and I know people are gonna be like, oh, what do you mean original male role? Like back when they'd come home and beat their wives. That's not what I'm saying here, guys. Okay. I'm saying the original male role. I'm talking about the guy that would work, come home, and play ball with the kids, and then, or if you come home and the wife says they did something, you discipline them, and then and you know you take care of that family. You take care of that family. You're the face. You're the head of the family. When they think of, whenever they say that last name, your face should be what they see first, because that's your legacy. That's your that's your bloodline. That's you. And if you're not the first face that they think of, there's a big issue there. There's a big issue there. You know, you don't need to be so weak and frail. And I think a lot of it has to do with the people today, though. There's so many people pointing their fingers at the male role model that it's a toxic thing, that us as men are scared to step into that role. A lot of them are scared because they looked at, and this whole cancel culture thing, that's looked at as a bad thing, to be a very masculine, dominant male in the family, in the household. You put your foot down, you know, it's like, oh my gosh, you know, you're a monster. And that's not necessarily true. You know, you don't have to be a violent male to be an assertive one. And I think everybody's got that mixed up. I think everybody thinks if you're being a man, you're just violent. You're just violent, and which men can be. And there's times when we have to be.
And you know, I want to point out that's the exception. You know, you brought up that back in the day. You know, I guess some might have thought of being a man and they go home and beat their wives, but that's an exception. But a lot of people like to bring that up as if that was the rule, and it's not. Yeah,
that was never the standard for a man. That was never a standard.
Never.
But
the
you
standard
guys
was working, being there.
Exactly. Yeah, and a lot of people, which I think is funny, will use that, and they'll be like, that was the standard. That was never the standard. People that argue that would love to throw that in there, and you know, me, and I think I speak for these two guys. None of us condone putting your hands on any woman.
No.
All right, that's not an okay thing. If you're a real man, you're putting your hands on a woman at any point. Out of rage or a fit of anger, I don't care how much your ideals line up with ours. That right there erases every aspect of you being the head of that male house, because
that's not a man.
That's not. You're not a man. If you have to take, or if you put your hands on kids or women, dude, you're out. You're out, bro. You're rolled out. Like I don't care how much weight you lift, how much money you make, and how much juice you take, Salo.
Whoa.
You're not. I mean, your job is to be, like I said, the sword and the shield. You be able to make those tough cuts when somebody tries to hurt your family, and make those tough calls, but at the same time be there to protect them when someone tries to hurt your family, and those tough calls happen to have some blowback, you know. Yeah. And we all know, us three, we're all fathers here. It's not easy. It's not easy being that head, man. It comes with a lot of stress. You got to cover your bills. You got to cover your spouse. You got to cover your child, and anything else that gets thrown at you, man. You know, house falling apart on you or anything, and you got to be able to keep yourself composed in a good, fashionable way to keep that role, because it's not easy. You know, it's not, because it's easy for you to get wrapped up in stress and depression. All right, I want to go and touch on that too. Depression for men is completely different than it is for most people. You know, because we most of them don't even show it. Most men don't show it if they're depressed, and that sucks. But I think if you got to learn to just kind of cancel that out. You know, like I think I said in the last podcast, when you were born a male, that. About that, guys, we had some technical difficulties there. Salo had to go take his synthol shot. As you can tell, he's got a little mud mark right there. It looks good. It's nice and inflated. Tank had to draw it out for him, and I was getting ready to call the cops. You know, I was like, this is not okay. Anyway, where I left off, depression and stress is always going to be like the devil on your shoulder. When you're born a man, that's what you got to deal with, and you just can't let it win, man. You got to kind of put that back and realize that comes with the territory of being a male. And being a man and trying to be that role model in the household, is that those things will always be lurking over you, but it is your job to fight them and stay mentally, disciplined.
Yeah.
And that's tough, and I understand that's tough, and it's not easy, but it's like we said when we recorded earlier. Now that we're re-recording. There's a difference between being weak, like Salo said, and you guys didn't hear him say it, but he did say it.
I did.
Being weak and being vulnerable.
Yeah.
As a male and being a male role model, it comes with a lot of stuff, and people are like, you can't show your feelings. And generally you can't, but there are some times where you're going through it, like where somebody in your family is if you're going through, if you lose somebody or something, that you just need to be vulnerable with someone. But that's not going to say that you don't need to get in your feelings about stuff either. Like if Salo told me, hey man, I hate you because your bench press is better than mine, I would be like, I'm not gonna cry. In fact, I'd probably smile and be like, it is better. But you can't be in your feelings about that. Or if Tank came to me and was like, me and you sumo Salo out, I said deal, because Salo's got the sumo bench press. So I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can be offended.
That's funny, because in that scenario, they think they're the winners. By sumo deadlifting.
We covered that topic. There's no need for us to go back. But anyway, yeah, that's what I think. When you're born a male, and you're born in a male household, and not a male household, you're born in the house. It's your household. You're born a male. You're supposed to be looked at as that leader.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, the sword and the shield, man. It's tough, because most people either see you as just the sword or just the shield. You got to play both. You got to play both roles, And I feel like that's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Either you got men either playing just the sword, this wrathful, vengeful, angry person in the house, or they're the shield and they're just never there. Like Jose said earlier, what she did say earlier. Don't know if it got recorded. He said, you see these guys that play video games for hours, man. They'll come home from work. Grown ass men. We're not talking about you guys being in high school or in elementary or anything. I'm talking grown-ass men that get off from their factory job or whatever. They'll get off, pat their kid on the back, and give their wife a kiss, and just log in. That's it. I get it for de-stressing, like an hour max. But dude, when you're
don't tell them that.
When you're
go to the gym.
I'm getting there, bro.
Don't tell them that.
Anyway, like
video games.
If you play a video, I get it for sometimes de-stressing. Like I said, I can't see if you're playing a game.
Well, Salo doesn't get it.
Yeah, it's solid.
But it's
you play video games?
I used to, but it's a virtual world. So like you're taking yourself out
of your reality.
Your reality.
So in the sense, like I said, if you're wanting to de-stress. You mind if I finish?
We're talking about being a man.
Yeah, no,
we gotta not detach from reality, but attack it.
That's where I'm going. But you
right,
haven't let me finish.
I'm sorry.
You haven't let me finish. Can I finish?
I don't want you steering them.
See, this is why I'm getting in my feelings right now, because you see how he's treating me. Anyway, no.
Sorry.
I get it to de-stress.
Yeah.
You come home from work, you had a long day. You want to hop on for a few minutes. That's fine. He's shaking his head. Look at this dude. But if you come home and you log in and you're playing hours and hours and hours, you go to bed, you get up, you play hours and hours and hours. You get up, go to work, get off work, and play hours and hours and hours. Dude, that is a problem. You have a serious problem on your hands, because not only are you severely detached. I get it if you want to break away from reality for a minute or two, but when you're severely detached from your family and your household, and you're leaving your wife unloved and you're leaving your kid undeveloped, that's your fault. That's your role as the male to step away from a computer, man. Come on. And a step away from the tablet or whatever you play your video games on, your consoles, your PlayStations, your Xboxes, your Nintendos, your Salos. Step away from them, They're gonna just drown you and kill your role as that leader in that house. You got to be willing to look at that and say no. Instead, what you should do is say, screw that video game. Pick up a ball. Say, let's go, son. Let's go, sweetheart. If you got a daughter, go kick around a soccer ball, throw a little baseball, go play football, go to the track, play some tag, hide and seek, something. Be outside, get out, let them breathe air. Let them build up. Like, get on a bike. Like Salo said, you ride your bike, scrape your knee, man. But dads don't do that no more, man. They're zombies. And it's like Salo said, being a man has been so penalized as an evil thing that men are too scared to step into that role now, so they stand back. And so these little kids, especially little boys, are being taught that if you act this certain way, if you even act masculine, it's toxic, it's evil, it's bad. No. But then when you need a war fought or someone to stop a bad guy, then you can be as masculine as you want to be. Then all of a sudden it's completely looked upon as, hey, that's we need more of that, but only when we need it then.
Yeah. And the way that I see it is you can't have both ways.
No.
And so kind of like you were saying, in being a man and acting like a man, that's been villainized, that's been seen as toxic, and so now a lot of men have kind of stepped back, you know, hiding in the shadows. I don't know if it got recorded earlier or not, but hiding in the shadows, and so they don't want men to control their lives, but it's not even that. It's men protecting, men providing, men being men. You know, because it's at the end of the day, it's their family. Yeah, exactly.
Natural instinct to protect.
Exactly, and so you can't what's the word I'm looking for? Emasculate a man when you don't want him to control you, but then something happens, like try and call upon him to try and do men's stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
move stuff.
Yeah.
Cut some trees down or something. Yeah. That's great. That's great.
And I see that a lot, and that's a problem. That's an issue, and it's just I mean, it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Agreed. 100% agreed. It's completely okay to be the hero when only when it is needed, but otherwise, you know, you're out. Like you said, the whole controlling thing. There are men out there that probably do that have some serious psychological issues that are trying to control everybody's little aspect. But for the most part, if your man's just telling you, hey, I don't want you going out tonight, or hey son, you're not going to that movie tonight, it's not controlling, man.
It's not.
That's a simple request.
Yep.
You know, and to sit there, or if they say, hey, I don't want you going out tonight, I don't got a good feeling about it. I don't want you going out. I don't want you going over to your friend's house tonight. I don't got a good feeling about it. Or honey, I don't want you going to the bar tonight. I don't got a good feeling about it. And your first thing is you're so controlling. You don't let me do anything. Exactly. You don't let me do that. That's ridiculous.
Or why everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's why.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. You know.
I know what's going on.
I feel like I'm going down a rabbit hole on that one. That's more relationship
and
and stuff. But I do think you made a good point there. Yeah. You know, it's men aren't trying to control. There are a few that are probably
and that's an
got
exception.
All right. Yeah,
so not the rule.
It's like I said earlier. You know, there's exceptions to things. Like I'm saying, you know, people think that being a man back in the day was beating your wife. Oh my God, they don't think that, but people like to tie that. They like to manipulate
back
that.
In the 90s, back in the day.
Yeah, that's how y'all use that to make us look bad today.
Yeah.
That's not us today, but it really works in y'all's favor because then once y'all want to win an argument. But and I say y'all, I want to make something very clear. I mean everybody that's arguing against this point. Okay, somebody's gonna be like, do you mean women? No. I mean men too. There are just as many men out there that are so soft and frail that I'm saying
they're
right
the
now.
Ones saying that
yeah,
too.
Saying that too. And I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying, man. You obviously didn't get spanked.
Exactly.
Or it wasn't hard enough.
Yeah.
Anyway, I gotta.
Can I add something
reel
real
it
quick?
back in. Yeah, let me reel it back in. Jose, bring us back.
Well, just kind of touching back on what you were talking about. I actually saw some David Goggins stuff not too long ago, and
he's gonna carry the boats and the logs.
Yeah, man. He was explaining like, hey, there's a reason why a man is who he is. You know, there's a reason why your kids, when shit hits the fan, they're like the first person they think of is their dad.
Yeah.
The first person, you know, they think of something that happens really good, they think of their dad. You know, like there's a reason why everyone keeps looking at their dad, and we're not having that right now, especially with touching back on like guys playing video games for hours. I mean, you're detaching yourself from your life, your wife, your family, and your kids are just they're gonna grow up without knowing you in the family. And so their first instincts is something, you know, an emergency happens, oh, mom, you know, mom, it's never gonna be a dad there. So just food for your thought. If you're watching this and you're getting pissed off because we're talking about y'all playing video games, you should be spending time with your family.
And I understand. I understand you are gonna get mad. I was about to say I understand you are gonna get mad. And
I just don't see no benefit to it unless you're making money. If that's how you're providing, I can see that. But you know, and you said earlier detaching, bro. It's like I'm just so against that. Like, what do you mean detach yourself?
Hold on.
No. Let's get into it.
We are gonna get into. We're gonna get into it right now.
So how can you tell somebody, or how just in general, like as men, we need to face reality as it is.
Well, I'm not saying
it's not like let's go into this mammy-pamby land.
I can tell you a personal situation because like whenever I played video games, I was that guy playing it for freaking 10 hours, like personally. And obviously I didn't have any kids or anything at the time, but that was still, I know that still affected the relationship I was in at that time too.
Yeah, for sure.
And at the end of the day, you know, that's time. Now as a man, I can look back and be like, man, what a fucking loser.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
And
but see, that's what we should be preaching and not saying, oh, it's okay to an hour or two as long as it's not 10. Like, no, go train. Why not go train?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go fix something. Go do some pull-ups, some sit-ups, some push-ups, shoulder presses, deadlifts, bench press, dips.
Sorry.
Hip thrusts.
Whoa. Hey.
What I mean by that, all right, okay, maybe not an hour. You're right. That seems a little much.
I just don't want it. I just don't want people to hear you say that and be like, oh, he said it was all right, or something like that.
That's fine. Here's
because it will get misconstrued.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say here, Salo, is, and even if it does get misconstrued, that's fine. If you want to use me as an excuse to not better yourself, fine. That's whatever. That's your fault then. If you want to use me as an out, that's your own fucking problem. So that's what I have to say about that. So if you want to play it for an hour and disconnect, fine. But then later on, if you want to blame it on me, that's your problem. You just need out. But what I was trying to say is, I personally don't see a problem with wanting to detach for a few minutes. Like, I don't do video games, but I hold on, just stop with the bobblehead stuff, man. Because the way I do it is like I just listen to music. I'm big on like lo-fi music. Instead of like video games. What I'll do is like when I drive to work, I'll listen to that. And when I get off work, I'll just listen to that. And it might be not even an hour. It don't even take me an hour to get to work, but for those few minutes, I'm just listening to that chill, calm music, and I'm just de-stressed. I break away from everything. That's what I mean. I don't know how video games do that for people. I don't, because I feel like, you're playing Call of Duty, I feel like it's even more added stress. I mean, you hear people rage on them damn things. And you just, but that's on a whole different topic, man. And we're getting into a whole different subject there. Salo, I need you to reel it in, buddy. I need you to reel it in, okay? If people want to use me as their scapegoat, that proves even more that you're not doing what you're supposed to, because you need to use me as a way out. Right. Or if you're using any of our situations as a way out, that's ridiculous. You shouldn't need an scapegoat. That answers your problem. That's your problem right there. Anyway, what were we talking about last before we got on that tangent?
Well, just video games are bad for you. You should train. I think that's about it. Right?
Salo is law. Law is Salo. This is not a democracy dictatorship.
No, man, it's just...
You should see what he does to us off the camera, guys. Holy shit, dude. It's bad. Like, he's got a
whip.
That, bro. Help.
Yeah.
No, but no, like, you're going to take it however you want to. I personally think that everybody does need that one thing to detach for a few minutes. That's me, break away. Not even break away from reality in a sense. Just kind of de-stress your brain.
Yeah.
You shouldn't get lost in that. That shouldn't be your escape for hours and hours and hours and hours. Because if that's the problem, then your problem as a male is whether it be video games or music or whatever, anything that's not benefiting you by making money or helping raise your family. That's the problem. You're escaping from it too much. You're not facing the problems. You gotta face those damn problems. Because guess what? The longer you put them off, the bigger they get. And then when you finally think you just push them off, they're gonna come up and just right across the face. That was so good.
That was
so good. But it's gonna right across your face, man. And then there's nothing left. You're just gonna get gangbanged by your problems.
Whoa.
And that was in Salo's notes. We're not scripted, but that was. He showed me off camera. On Salo's notes.
Yeah. So let me attack it in a different way, just because I heard what you were saying. The reason I'm against video games as much as I am is because it's almost like an addiction. And,
totally. They've proven that it releases dopamine.
And that's where I was coming from. Video games, they rot your brain just like smoking or drinking. Like it's just not good.
Okay.
It's an addiction. Yeah. You can go out and have a beer, but then it might turn into 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. And so with video games, the same thing. You can play for an hour, but then that can turn into 10 hours until, to consume
Well, that's
your
where discipline comes in, too. That you should be disciplined enough to be like, all right, I'm playing this for an hour, and then after that, I'm done.
Yeah. And that's where I was coming from. It's not necessarily that video games are the devil, or some people might argue that. But it's just that, like, it's just an addiction. Like, why do that? Like, no. Like, you should be doing practical things, like working out. Why not be addicted to the gym?
Well,
because you can't work out for 10 hours. That's for sure.
Rich Piano 8-hour arm workout. Rich Piano 8-hour arm workout, bro. That's a thing.
He was also doing some other stuff on the side, taking basics. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So, yeah.
I mean, you can do like the 100 nugget, 100 squat challenge. You can do.
Yeah, but you can't do it every day. You can't do it all the time.
Oh man.
I mean, you don't sound very disciplined, Salo.
What do you mean?
I mean, we sound more disciplined. You can do it all the time.
No, I'm saying
No,
it's
you
not
could.
good for you. You can't work out 10 hours a day. That's what I'm saying. That's not unhealthy.
Who says? Are you gonna carry the boats and logs? No.
Biology
Not with that attitude.
says.
You know what? I don't know if you live in the same world we do, but biology's been out the window.
You didn't come for 2 weeks. And then that's it. That's all I gotta say.
Checkmate. Anyway,
there we go. I should have done
I'm done with the podcast.
Yeah.
Anyway. I get what you're saying. If it, you don't want it to, it's been proven to release, adrenaline and dopamine and stuff, and that's one of those things where, cool, but like I said, if you're disciplined enough, which you should be, you should be disciplined enough to be able to say, I'm gonna only do this for an hour, tops. And that hour hits, you need to be able to break away and not be like, well, my boys want me to keep playing, honey, my boys,
Nike said on the podcast, it's
and
okay.
then, man, and then be like, guess what, dude, like, I'm a nobody, so you're taking a nobody's advice to do whatever you want. Kind of makes you look lame. Also, like, I'm also somebody. KSI noticed me. What's up, KSI, dude? Ready for that boxing match, bro? When you come to Texas, dude? We about it over here in Texas.
Here's a short clip.
There you go, man. I'm just saying, you be Red Coast lost, homie. Red Coast lost. I'll come lose again. Come lose again, bro. That's my promo for today. KSI.
All right.
Done, bro. I'll have you out in 2. Because the first one will be just fun playing with you.
All right.
Anyway, it's neither here nor there. Hashtag Mr. 2018.
2018 guy, bring him back. You bring him back.
Well, I wish we had everything we covered in the original, and we lost a lot. And I feel like we did a good job. We went on a little bit more tangent this time. I think we stuck better to it the first time. But you know what, guys? If there is something in this video you feel like we did not touch on, please, and I mean it, please just leave a comment. If there's something in this video we did and you didn't like, leave a comment and subscribe and ring the bell and share. Guys, share this with your friends, your family, We're trying to grow. And the best way to do that is through you guys. Help us with the algorithm here.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, stick to your sumos, arch your back as much as you can, and wear as much equipment as you possibly can. Make sure you don't tear your body up. And I think everybody would agree here on this panel. Everybody in this direction. I mean, anything this way, you just kind of got to ignore.
Hey.
But
it works for me.
Whatever works for you.
There we go.
Synthol works for him.
Hey,
Test,
hey.
trim baloney.
There we go.
Anyway, guys,
Dude.
appreciate y'all going through with us and listening to this again, kind of. But please, like I said, we're loving it. This is episode 4. Keep showing the love. And we'll keep putting it out there, man. Like I said, keep involved. We want to get as much involved with our fans and as we can. So drop us some comments. You want us to talk more about fitness? We will. You want us to talk more about things we believe we need to be important? We can talk politics. You want to talk religion? Whatever it want to be, let us know. We'll talk about it. I guess I'm going to go ahead and end it there, guys.
Yeah.
Anything y'all want to add?
No.
All right, go ahead and please.
No video games. Go train.
Go train. Get better.
Oh, yeah.
Play a video game for a little bit.
Nah.
Anyway, that's it, guys. Go ahead and be sure to follow us on our Instagrams, which will be linked below, I'm sure, hopefully. I don't know, Tanks. We went over that at the beginning of the video. Nike Garcia _2. Mendoza Gaines. I'm sorry, Tank. I'll try to memorize yours. And like and subscribe on the video, guys. Check us out on our Instagrams. Links are in the bio for YouTube. And share, guys. And
Please.
God bless y'all, and we'll see you next time.
Amen. Later. Peace.